Hey everyone, Mr. Shatter here to take a look at the Unit 4 practice assessment. This video is going to walk you through each and every problem, so solve them along with me. First problem number 1, it says 5 divided by 1/4. I'd always recommend putting a 1 on the bottom of any number that does not have a fraction bar. And then, of course, keep, change, flip. That's how we're going to solve these division problems. So we keep the first fraction, we change the division symbol to multiplication, and we flip the second fraction to become 4 on top, 1 on the bottom. There's nothing in this problem that would simplify, so the answer is simply multiplying top times top, which makes 20, bottom times bottom, which makes 1. 20 over 1, of course, is 20. The final answer is 20. Number 2, 3/8 divided by 6. I'm going to go ahead and add that 1 on the bottom again of that whole number that doesn't have a fraction bar. And now I'm going to keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep the 3/8, we're going to change to multiply, and we're going to flip the 1 over 6. Just make sure you simplify diagonally before you begin. So 3 over 6 you could divide by 3. Divide by 3 you get 1 and 2. And then the final answer would just be top times top, which is 1. Bottom times bottom, which is 16. So the answer to problem number 2 is 1 over 16. Problem 3, 7 divided by 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and put the 1 on the bottom here. And we're going to keep, change, flip. So 7 over 1, multiply 4 over 3. Nothing to simplify in this problem again. Top times top, 7 times 4 is 28. Bottom times bottom, 3 times 1 is 3. So the answer of 28/3 if I prefer. I could also change it to a mixed number if I'd like. So let's see, 3 times 8 or 9 would be 27. So it could be 9 and 1/3 remaining. Either one of these answers is correct. It's your choice which you'd like to do. Problem 4, 2/3 divided by 1/8. So we're going to go ahead and keep, change, and flip. Now this time I actually have a simplification I could make. And it comes along, oh sorry, I thought the 8 and the 2 were paired together. Oh shucks, looks like nothing still. No simplification to make. I was hoping the 8 and the 2, but you can never cancel horizontally. That's the one way you can't cancel in math. You could do diagonally or vertically, but you can't do horizontally. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and multiply top by top once again and bottom by bottom once again. Get 16/3 as an answer. Or if we want to change it to a mixed number, well, let's see, 5 would be 15, 5/3, so that's 5 and 1/3. It doesn't matter which answer you'd like. Okay, going to the other side now, 15/2 divided by 3/4. We're going to keep, change, flip, so 15/2 times 4/3. Now we finally have some simplification. So vertically nothing simplifies, but on this diagonal we could divide by 3. So 15 divided by 3 makes 5, and 3 divided by 3 makes 1. Additionally, the other diagonal, 2 and 4, I'll change my color, 2 and 4, you could divide by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. Once we've simplified everything, we'll go back to red, we just do top times top, which is 5 times 2 is 10, and bottom times bottom, it's 1, and 10 over 1, of course, is 10. Number 6, 3/8 divided by 5/12. So 3 over 8, keep, change, flip, we multiply by 12 over 5, and we look to see if we could simplify. So I'm looking at the diagonal 8 and 12, and yes, we could simplify here. We could divide by 4. Now you may have divided by 2, but you'd have to divide by 2 again. So dividing by 4 is simply more efficient. So if we divide 8 by 4, of course we get 2, and 12 by 4 we get, let's see, that'd be 3. That'd be 3. And so then we just have to simplify the other one if we could, but in this case we can't. So then we just do top times top, which makes 9. We'll go back to red. 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 2 is 10. Final answer of 9/10. Number 7, you have to change this mixed number into an improper fraction before you keep, change, flip. It is essential that 6 3/4 is taken care of and made into a mixed number at the very beginning of the problem. If you need a refresher on how to do that, I'm just going to zoom in real quick. So you always start with the bottom number, the 4. You multiply. You're going to multiply by the number out front, the whole number 6. And then whatever you get as an answer there, you're going to add the top number 3. And then whatever that value is, that's the numerator, and the denominator stays the same. It stays to be that 4. So if we would actually go ahead and simplify this, it would be 6 times 4 makes 24, plus 3 makes 27, so it would be 27 fourths. So the 27 is found by doing the operations, and then the denominator 4 stays the same. So then we go ahead and rewrite divided by 9/8. I recommend rewriting the problem once before you keep, change, flip. Okay? So now we're going to go ahead and keep, change, flip. So we keep, we change to multiply, we flip to 8 over 9, and now I look to see if I could simplify. 27 and 9 could divide by 9. Divide by 9, right? So 3 9s fit into 27, and, let's see, that'd be, we're going to divide by 9, right? Oh, sorry, so that's just going to be 1 here. I was thinking divide by 3, which would be fine as well, but 9 is more efficient. Go ahead and look at the other diagonal, 8 and 4, we could divide by 4. So we divide by 4 here and get 2, divide by 4 here and get 1. So we're done simplifying, we just multiply. 3 times 2 makes 6, 1 times 1 makes 1, 6 over 1 is 6. So the final answer would be 6. Last problem, we have to change both of these to be improper fractions. So again, you start on the denominator, you multiply by 4, that makes 24. You add 1, that makes 25. So that'd be 25 sixths. Keep the division. Don't try to keep, change, flip, and switch to impropers in the same step. You're going to get confused. So we go here to the 4. We multiply by 1, which is 4. We add 1, which is 5. So 5 fourths. Now that they're both improper fractions, we keep, change, flip. So 25 sixths multiply by 4 fifths. Looking at the diagonals, I've got 6 over 4, which I could simplify by dividing by 2. So half of 6 is 3, half of 4 is 2. And the other diagonal, 25 and 5, could divide by 5. So 25 divided 5 is 5, 5 divided 5 is 1. So then we go ahead and multiply. 5 times 2 makes 10. 3 times 1 is 3. So 10 thirds is the final answer. Or 3 and 1/3 if you convert to a mixed number. Again, either one of those is okay. All right, we're moving on to the next problem here. Problem number 9. It said, Liza made 10 cups of lemonade and divided the lemonade equally among 8 glasses. How much lemonade went into each glass? If you read this problem carefully enough, it's actually telling you what it wants you to do. It's saying to take 10 cups of lemonade and divide by 8 glasses. In other words, 10 divided by 8. Now we know fractions and division are really the same thing. So I'm going to rewrite 10 divided by 8 as 10 on top, 8 on the bottom. This is also 10 divided by 8. And then I just need to simplify. I know they're both even numbers, so I could divide them by 2, giving me 5 fourths as a final answer. So this number 9 here is the first bubble, 5 fourths of a cup. Number 10, we'll zoom out a bit more here. Number 10, a recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of sugar per batch of cookies. Alina used 4.5 cups of sugar to make multiple batches. How many did she make? Well, this is a simple division problem. If 4.5 cups of sugar was the total that Alina used, and you want to figure out how many times 3/4 went into that, you divide by 3/4. Right? 4.5 divided by 3/4. The total amount of sugar divided by the amount of sugar per single batch of cookies. So the quotient to this problem will be the answer. So we have to divide. That means we need to change 4.5 to an improper. So 2 times 4 makes 8, plus 1 makes 9 halves, divided by 3/4. And I'm going to go ahead and switch it to a keep, change, flip over here. So it would be 9 halves multiplied by 4/3. I'm looking to simplify diagonally. I got lucky here, 4 and 2 also, and the 9 and 3 as well. So this becomes 1, this becomes 2. And then the other diagonal I'll divide by 3, and this becomes 3, and this becomes 1. So final answer, top times top, bottom times bottom, which is 6 over 1, or 6 batches of cookies. That's how many batches Alina made. 3/4 of a cup 6 times is equal to 4.5. Millie walked 5 5/6 miles today. Nick biked 1 1/4 miles. How many times the length of Nick's walk was Millie's walk? Okay, so really, Millie here has got the bigger walk. And the question is asking you how many times greater is that walk than compared to Nick's bike ride here. So again, a division problem. It's no surprise this is a quiz on division fractions, so most of the problems will be division. So we want to take the large walk here, 5 and 5/6, and ask ourselves how many times greater is that than the 1 1/4. So we essentially divide them to figure out 1 1/4 multiplied by what value would equal 5 and 5/6. Change them to impropers. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 5 is 35/6, divided by 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 5/4. Keep change flip. Now we simplify. So I try to simplify vertically. I still haven't been able to, but diagonally is going to come in big here. 6 and 4 could each be cut in half or divided by 2 to make 3 and 2. And then 35 and 5, I'm going to divide by 5. So that makes 7 on the 35 side, and 5 is going to turn into 1 because I'm dividing by 5. So the final answer to the problem is top times top, bottom times bottom, 14/3, which is the second bubble. Okay, next question says use the rectangle below to find the perimeter. Well, as you guys know, perimeter is simply the sum of all the sides. So we need to add all sides. This is an addition problem, okay? So in order to do that, we need all 4 sides. So the bottom side is the same as the top, so 2.5. And the right side is the same as the left, so 7/8. So I need to add all 4 of these numbers together. 2.5 plus 7/8 plus 2.5 plus 7/8. Now in order to do this efficiently, I always recommend adding things that look the same together. So let's add the 7/8 together. 7/8 plus 7/8 is 14/8. Remember, when you're adding fractions and the denominators are the same, you just add the numerators. And then I'm going to add together 2.5 and 2.5. Well, 2 plus 2 makes 4, and a half plus a half was a whole. So 2.5 plus 2.5 is really 4 plus 1, which I'm just going to erase and call 5. Right? 2.5 and 2.5 together make 5, because 2 plus 2 is 4, and a half plus a half is a whole. So 4 and 1 make 5. The only thing I have to do to finish this problem is convert 14/8 into a mixed number, because I can't have an improper fraction and a whole number like this. So I know 14/8 is 1, because that would be 8, and then it'd be 6/8 left over. And then I have the 5 here, of course, 5 plus 1 and 6/8. And so the last step is just to simplify this. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that right over here. 5 plus 1 and 6/8 is 6 and 6/8. But I know 6 and 6/8 does simplify, because 6 over 8, they could both be cut in half, giving you 3/4 as the final answer. So 6 3/4 is the final answer to the addition problem. You could have also done this using an improper fraction if you were to have taken 5 right here and gotten a common denominator, which would be 8. So that would be 40/8. So 40/8 plus 14/8 would give you 54/8, and then you just have to simplify because they're both even. But either way, you're going to be looking at 6 3/4 or the improper fraction, which would be, what's that, 24 27/4 or 27/4. Okay. Taking a look at the next question, it says, using the rectangle below, find the length of the missing side. Traditionally, in order to find area, we would do length times width to equal area. But in this problem, I gave you the area. So you have to go backwards. And backwards of multiplication is division. So in order to find the missing value here, I take the area, 4 1/8, and I divide, which is the opposite of multiplying, going backwards, by the side length provided. And this quotient will give me the side length that's unknown. So turn them into impropers. So 8 times 4 is 32, plus 1 is 33/8, divided by 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9/8. So now I have to keep change flip. So this is actually kind of nice. Whenever I have the same number on a diagonal, I just divide by whatever that number is. In this case, divide each of these 8s by 8, and that makes 1 and 1, which is super convenient. 33 and 9, I could divide by 3. Could divide by 3, because 33 divide 3 is 11, and 9 divide 3 is 3. So the final answer to this problem is 11 times 1 on top, 1 times 3 on the bottom. 11 thirds, or 3 and 2 thirds, whichever answer you prefer. 3 questions left to go. These are throwback questions. The first one is simplify the fraction. So in this case, they're not even, so I can't divide by 2, but I could divide by 3. Divide by 3. So 24 divided by 3 is equal to 8. 27 divided by 3 is equal to 9. 8/9 does not simplify any further, therefore it's my final answer. 15. In order to subtract these, I need to get the fraction pieces to have the same denominator. A common denominator between 6 and 3 would be 6. So 6 and 5/6 is actually just going to stay the same. 2 and 1/3 is going to turn into 2 and blank sixths. Well, in order to turn this into a 6, I needed to take the 3 and multiply it by 2. So that's what I have to do to the denominator as well. I have to times it by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 2/6 is definitely equivalent to 1/3, so this is good. Then all I have to do is subtract. So to subtract these fractions, I subtract the whole number part minus the whole number part. 6 minus 2 is 4. It's my dishwasher, sorry. And then 5/6 take away 2/6 is 3/6. And before I finish the problem, 3/6 could be simplified to 1/2. So 4 and 1/2. Or if you had an improper fraction answer, in this case it would be 9/2. Be 9/2. So either one of those answers. Last problem, multiplication. It's easy. It's division without the keep, change, flip. So it's super easy. So let's just go ahead and get this thing turned into an improper fraction. So 4 times 2 makes 8, plus 1 is 9/4. Now just do it like normal. Don't keep, change, flip. On the diagonal, I do have a division of 3 here. If I divide 6 by 3, I get 2, and 9 by 3 makes 3. The other diagonal does not have anything to simplify by. So final answer would be top times top, which makes 15. Bottom times bottom, which is 2 times 4 makes 8. Or this would just be 1 and 7/8, I believe. We're one shy of making a second whole number there. 1 and 7/8. I hope you found this practice test to be helpful and you use it to study for the test.